So we started this NeX Grow series a few months ago, and now we have reached our fourth session today. So if you're here, well done. And I would like to appreciate that this call is being interpreted in French and Italian. So thank you to our leaders who are helping us with the interpretation. And one of the things that I want to say is this is a series that is being created for the sole purpose of you raising the level of leadership that you have, not just in business, but in life and business. And if you look at any part in the world, any system in the world, you'll find that the leaders are the ones who achieve the highest amount of success. Let it be life, let it be business, let it be any level you can think about. So one of the reasons why I selected John Maxwell as one of our mentors, because I've read multiple books on leadership, and I find his book the complete book when it comes to leadership. The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And in our last 3 sessions, we went through the first 3 laws of leadership. Let me quickly remind you. The first law being the law of the lid, and the second law, the law of influence, the 8 characteristics of influential leaders. In our last session, we went through the law of process. In other words, system. Today, we're going to go through the 4th law of leadership, and that is the law of navigation. And when you actually go into the depth of studying the law of navigation in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, you will find that this law is different from all the other laws, because the law of navigation is something that you can learn and follow and copy, because it's a technical law. You see, in leadership, you'll find leaders who have leadership ability based on intuition, based on vision. But this law is an important law that has got a lot of technical elements to it. So if you follow the technicalities, you can learn the law and you can master the law. And that's the law of navigation. And it starts off with this very powerful statement, that is, anyone can steer a ship, but it takes a navigator to chart the course. Anyone can steer the ship, direct the ship, but it takes a leader or a navigator to chart the course. A very powerful concept that you need to understand in the law of navigation. So friends, let me remind you, in life, there are only 2 kinds of people: leaders, followers, navigators or followers. That's it. In life, in business, there are only 2 kinds of people: leaders and followers. So the first choice or the first decision that you need to make is that, are you a leader or are you a follower? And if you think about science, if you think about biology, if you think about nature, every human being was born as a leader, not a follower. If you look at science and nature, for you to be born, the chances are 1 in 400 trillion. That's the odds for you to be born. For I, Liju, to be born, among the millions of sperms, 1 person went through, 1 leader, and that's me, Liju Thomas, the same as you. So when you were born, you're born a leader. Everybody is. Others you would not be born today. So understand that once you are born, then life takes over, and then at some point you decide in life to be a leader or a follower, a navigator or a follower. And understand that anybody can steer the ship, anybody can become a follower, but it takes a leader to chart the course. And when I understood this concept, I was happy and sad at the same time. Why was I happy? Because for the first time in my life, I understood that my life, my destiny is designed by what I do because I'm a leader. I can chart the course of my life. I can design the course of my life. That's why I was happy. Why was I sad? Because all my life, till the age of 30, I was a follower. I was born as a leader, but I lived my life as a follower. I was born as a lion, but I lived my life as a cat. I was born as an eagle, but I lived my life in a cage as a parrot. And when I understood the law of navigation, I understood that anybody can be a follower, but it takes a leader to chart the course. So today you want to understand that if you want to be a leader, the designer, the navigator, you have to make the decision to chart the course, to go down the path that you want to go down and not follow it based on what somebody else told you to follow it. Somebody else shouldn't tell you when to wake up in the morning. Somebody else shouldn't tell you how you need to live your life. Somebody else shouldn't tell you about how much holidays that you can have in a year. Somebody else mustn't tell you about what car you can afford to drive. Somebody else mustn't tell you about how much you are worth per hour in a day. So make a decision through the law of navigation first in your mind. Are you a navigator or are you a follower? Are you a leader or are you a follower? Now, if you've made up your mind to be a follower, disconnect this call, leave this meeting, switch off the video right now. But if you have made up the mind that I want to be a leader, that I want to be a navigator, let me tell you the 3 characteristics of effective navigators. The first one is by showing you one of the most favorite TV series that I've ever watched in my life, and that is called Suits. If you haven't watched it, I strongly recommend that you watch it. It teaches you a lot about the principle of leadership, navigation, creating the course. And one thing you'll realize, these 2 amazing individuals, Harvey Specter and Mike Ross, you will see that they are given, these are lawyers, by the way, and these lawyers, they are put into extremely difficult situations in their workplace, in their life. And one thing that you will see them do is the first principle of the law of navigation. Very powerful. And that is this: navigators plan the route before they start the journey. Lawyers anticipate. Now, I don't know how the interpreters might say this. Anticipation is before the actual incident happens, navigators plan their route in their head and they see from A to Z in their head. Lawyers, before they go to court, they plan the route or the journey or the case in their head. Followers just follow where they're told to go. So one thing you need to know as a navigator, as a leader, is you need to know in life and business, you need to see that journey in your head, in your mind, before you take that journey. So right now, take a moment and think about, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time from now? Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time from now? Where do you see yourself in 20 years from now? Do you have a plan to achieve what you want to see before? And if you do so, you're going to be a navigator. You're going to be a leader. In the law of navigation in the book, it talks about 2 men who wanted to climb Mount Everest. 2 men. And it talks about one person decided, I'm going to take the best equipment and take my best people, and I'm going to cross and go up Mount Everest with these piece of people or with this group of people. And he starts the journey. The other man, before even he starts the journey, he goes and interviews the people who live in icy conditions, on high levels, and he gets all the information, plans his journey, and then takes his group of team members to go up. The person, the leader, number two, who planned his journey, went to the very top, achieved this task, and came back down safely with not one person dead or one person missing. The one who didn't plan the journey, not only did he somehow or the other make it to the top, but he didn't come back alive, and he killed all of his team members. You see, friends, very powerful statement in life and business. If you fail to plan, that's a plan to fail. If you fail to plan, that's a plan to fail. What's your plan for your life? What's your plan for your business? What's your plan for your family? What's your plan for your children? When was the last time, if you have a family, that you sat down with your partner and you planned what do you want to do in the rest of your life? When was the time you sat with your children and you planned with them what you want to do? When was the last time you sat with your team and you planned together the journey that you want to take with your team? When was the last time that you sat down on your own and wrote down in your journal a plan for you to achieve success? And if you haven't done it, let me tell you, the chances of you succeeding is less than 1%. And these calls, these sessions are here to remind you of what leaders do. And if you're an exercise, what's great is because we give you a map. We give you a map for you to plan where you want to go financially in life. And that's called the compensation plan. All my life, before I came into this industry, I just need a job and I just need to survive. But when I came into an industry like this, for the first time in my life, I could plan. That's what I want to get. And the plan and the goal was SMART. S, specific. M, measurable. A, achievable. R, realistic. And T, time bound. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. My question to you is this. What if your plan was to make $10,000 or 10,000 euros or 10,000 pounds a month? What if you didn't do it in 5 years, but you did it in 10 years? It still would be worth it. What if it took you 15 years? It still would be worth it. What if it took you 20 years? It still would be worth it. But you know why? At least you have a plan to follow to make it happen. So sometimes it might not get there, or you might not get there in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. But if you have a plan, that's the step one of the law of navigation. Now, step number two, or the characteristic number two. And this story that I'm going to tell you is one of the most powerful stories that I've ever heard in my life. And is a story of the Chinese farmer who said an amazing statement. Good luck or bad luck? Who knows? So the story is about a Chinese farmer. And one day, his horse, he had one horse. His horse, when he got up in the morning, his horse had broken the fence and drove away into the forest. All the villagers around him came to him and said, "What bad luck have you faced, my friend, that your only horse has ran away?" And the Chinese farmer responded, "Good luck or bad luck? Who knows?" The next day, the horse that ran away into the forest came back to his farm with 7 other wild horses. And now the Chinese farmer, instead of one horse, has 8 horses. And all the villagers came to him and said, "Wow, you have such good luck." And the farmer responded, "Good luck or bad luck? Who knows?" The next day, the Chinese farmer's only son, he had one son, was out in the fields and he was trying to tame one of the wild horses. And one of the horses who was trying to tame jumped up in the air, and his son fell down on the floor and broke his leg. And the son was on the bed with a broken leg. All the villagers came and told the Chinese farmer, "Ah, what bad luck that your son broke his leg." The farmer responded, "Good luck or bad luck, who knows?" The next day, the commissary of the Chinese army came to the village, and they went from one house to other house, and anybody above the age of 18 who was able-bodied was taken to fight in the big war, not knowing if they will come back alive or dead. The commissary came to the farmer's house, saw his son lying in bed with a fractured leg, and said, "We don't want him," and went away. All the villagers came and said, "Wow, what good luck you have." The Chinese farmer said, "Good luck or bad luck, who knows?" You see, my friends, the second law or the second characteristic in the law of navigation is that the best tool of a leader or navigator is experience, good or bad. You see, one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make in life is they think that if they have a bad experience, that's a failure. And they use that failure to quit. They use that failure to give up. They use that failure to demotivate themselves. But good navigators, good leaders understand that their best tool is experience, be it good or bad. You might be going through a phase in your life that is extremely difficult, that you think is a failure. But if you have the right mindset of a navigator, you will use that experience as your strength in the days to come. As we were building NeX, my goodness, failure after failure after failure after failure after failure. But you know what my mindset says? Everything happens for good. In my favorite book, it's written that everything happens for good. And the point is this: if you've gone through a challenge in life, that's good. If you achieve success, that's good. If you have people leave your team, that's good. If you've lost momentum, that's good. Anything and everything that happens to your life, remember, it's good, because it becomes a part of your story, becomes a part of your experience. As you're going through the tunnel, it is dark. But as long as you have in your mind that at the end of the tunnel, there is light, and I'm going to use this experience to become better in my leadership of life and business. If you have that attitude, your life become amazing. I was once asked a very important question in life, and that was in an interview, or what is your biggest advice that you can give anybody? And the advice that I told was, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. So if you're going through a good experience, that's going to pass. If you're going through a bad experience, that's going to pass. A failure is only a failure if you did not learn from that experience. But if you learn from that experience, it's not a failure. Let me repeat something. A failure is only a failure if you did not learn from that experience. And all the tough experiences that you go through make you a better leader. That is why it says, smooth seas don't make good sailors. When you're going through a tough situation, you want the best navigators. Who are the best navigators? The ones who have handled the roughest seas in the world. Who are the best people that you want to stand with you? The people who have experienced the toughest situations in life. Because you know, the reality in life is this: tough times don't last. Tough people do. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. So the first characteristic of a navigator, understand that the navigator plans the journey. But as they're going through the journey, things don't go according to plan. So what does that navigator do? Number two, uses the experience, good or bad, as a tool for them to reach their destination. And the final characteristic is something that I learned from a gift that was given to me when I was 10 years old by my father, one of the best gifts, and that was a chessboard. And I've been playing chess from the age of 10. And in chess, there are different levels of players. And in order for you to win in the game of chess, you have to plan the moves before you make the moves. That's the only way you can win in chess. You can never win a game of chess by being a follower. You can only win by being a leader. You can never win a game of chess by being reactive. The only win you can achieve is by being proactive. So there are different levels of people, players in chess. Chess is an amazing game, and I strongly recommend you to learn the game. It's a game invented in India, and it'll give you a lot of mindset for you to become great in life and business, in family, and teach it to your family members. And an amateur player is somebody who can think 1 to 3 moves before they make the move. That's an amateur player. Who is a professional is somebody who can think 4 to 5 moves before they make their move. A master is someone who can think 6 to 10 moves before they make their move. And a grandmaster is someone who can think 11 to 15 moves before they make their move. The more moves that you can plan and visualize in your mind, the better the player you will be and the chances of you winning the game. And that is the third characteristic of amazing leaders and navigators. Navigators and leaders, they see the big picture. They don't see the small moves in front of them. They see the whole view in their minds before they plan the journey. If you're part of NeX, and if you see what we are doing, you can see the moves that we are making through our ecosystem. But there is a big picture. There is a big vision as to what we are doing with these elements in our ecosystem. Why are we making use of the opportunity of Web 2? Why are we capitalizing on the opportunity of Web 3? Why are we in the direct sales industry, which is a $200 billion industry? Why are we using multiple different portfolios? Why are we using a global online business model? Why are we using auto trading with positive results? And why have we created a powerful map, a powerful compensation plan that anybody who wants to direct their future can do it? If you understand the big picture, the little elements in your business won't matter much. See the big picture, not just in business, but also in life. What's the big picture? Where do you see yourself in 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 years' time? For your life, for your family, for your business, for yourself. And if you understand that, you will know that we are on a very powerful journey that is different from 99% of people out there in the world. We are going through a powerful plan, a powerful journey that is difficult, that is not easy, that sounds crazy, that's different from other people. But if you understand the big picture, you will understand the law of navigation. So friends, remember, let me recap the 3 characteristics of Effective navigators. Number one, navigators or leaders plan the route before the journey. Number two, the best tool of a navigator is experience, good or bad. Good luck, bad luck. Who knows? Time will tell. And finally, great navigators and leaders, they see the big picture. You don't have to say a lot of things to them. They understand the big picture. So when most people are looking at it from a tree, the big navigators are looking from the sky, getting a bird's eye view, an eagle's eye view of the big picture. Implement these characteristics in your life, my friend. I guarantee you, you'll be a leader in your life, no matter what you do. Implement these characteristics in your family. I guarantee you'll be a leader in your family. Implement these characteristics in your business. I guarantee you, you'll be an effective leader, a navigator who doesn't follow but creates the course. And that's the law of navigation. And that's the fourth law. In our next session, we'll cover the fifth law. And I look forward to see how many leaders will be back to learn the fifth law of leadership. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic evening. Stay safe and practice the law of navigation. Bye-bye.